Hey guys, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. I have officially finished my junior year in college and thought it would be fun to share my reflections in this video. I already survived my freshman year and did all the things that a confused little freshman would do. I also went through that sophomore year slump and came out of it somewhat alive. But what happens in junior year? No one really talks about it. It's 3/4 into a marathon and you still gotta keep going. So as the school year comes to an end, in this video I will talk about what I learned in my junior year. And honestly, a lot of the things that I will talk about in this video kind of applies to life in general, so it doesn't matter what year you are, whether you're out of school or in school, but I think regardless, these are just some cool life lessons that I think I learned. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I post a lot of videos about college, fashion, and just pop culture, so if you're interested in any of these, please hit the subscribe button below, and I'm really grateful that you're watching my video, and let's get right into it. So the first lesson that I learned is actually being alone doesn't mean loneliness. I feel like there's always this stigma, especially when you're within like a social circle or social ecosystem, that you have to like come off as you have a lot of friends and that you're always hanging out with people. And especially when you're in college, you are always spending time with people. You go to classes with your friends, you come home to your housemates or roommates, and whenever you want to go try out a new restaurant or go visit the city, go out to a party, you always bring your friends along, because why would you do these things alone, ever? But what I realized is there is a lot of joy that comes out of doing all these activities by yourself, and you kind of get a fresh perspective on things that you never really considered before. Especially in this past year, I think I tried to take myself on dates and do things by myself. So my favorite alone experience in my junior year was definitely when I decided to go see Marriage Story at the Castro, which is a theater in San Francisco. I took the BART from Oakland to San Francisco after my work, and I was really excited because I knew that Marriage Story was only going to be released on Netflix, and I thought this would be like the rare opportunity for me to see this movie in theater and experience it with a lot of people. And and also the director Noah Baumbach was supposed to be there for a Q&A afterwards, so that was also exciting. Walking into the theater, it was kind of intimidating in the beginning, and it's kind of sad because I was like, oh, everyone else here is with their coworker, family, friend, or a loved one, and then here I am by myself with my heavy backpack, and no one can save a seat for me, even though I really want to go to the restroom, but I also want to get a really good seat so I can enjoy the movie. And I mean, there are little inconveniences like that, but watching Marriage Story in a huge, gorgeous theater like that just made me feel very small, almost like a nobody in a sense. And I think it was fine being a nobody in that instant, because there's always so much pressure from work and school to be somebody, to be extraordinary, to live up to expectations. But when you do things by yourself, especially when you're a tiny part of this collective experience, you feel that burden taken off of you, and you just let yourself enjoy what is right in front of you and be overwhelmed by the city, the community, the art, or whatever that you're experiencing at the moment. And I think that is something valuable to have and something that really energizes me. And I guess that also just translates into what adulthood is, because when you are younger, you tend to always have friends around you, because everyone's priorities really is just, you know, hanging out with your friend, having a good time. But as you get older, everyone starts to shift their priorities. Like, someone might be more focused on their career, someone is probably focused on building a family. They probably want to spend more time with this other person rather than you, and it's not even something personal, it's just that people grow up and things change, and you just have to deal with being alone and doing things by yourself and still deriving a lot of happiness from it. And I think that is something that I really felt during junior year, because I think this is the time when everyone started really maturing and really growing from freshman year, and you can't really expect everyone to always be on the same wavelength as you, and so you just gotta be able to be happy alone. And I think you become very powerful once you are content with just being with yourself, and I think that makes you a lot more invincible. I'm not saying that you shouldn't seek human connection anymore or form tight bonds with other people. It's just that if you can find contentment within yourself, I think that is something that you should be really proud of. And the second thing that I want to talk about is my journey to confidence, or me struggling with imposter syndrome. And it's definitely not something that I have like just figured out. I think it's something that I still struggle with to this day, because college can be a very competitive environment, especially if you are a competitive major or part of a very cutthroat community. And a lot of times it's very suffocating to realize that I don't have my life figured out. And there's that pressure to know what you want to do as soon as you enter college. And I feel like that has been something that's been on my mind for forever. I don't know. I feel like talking about this just made me depressed. Okay. I think another thing that I kind of struggled throughout junior year is this idea of imposter syndrome, which is feeling like you are a fake. Like, you don't deserve to actually be here, even though you've earned this position. I don't know, it's just something that kind of eats away at me, and I feel like it's not something that I can just get over within a year, and it is a constant battle. But I just wanted to bring this up because this felt like a huge theme for my junior year, because it is also when I made a career switch almost, because I was on track, I guess, sort of, to just pursue like a fully business career, and I could go down like a slightly more conventional and secure path. But because I'm really passionate about entertainment, like film, TV, like all that stuff, and that is why I'm starting my YouTube channel, because I just love media, I love creating, I love having a voice. And I think making these videos, even though I just started like a month ago, it makes me so happy, because I feel like my voice is being put out there, and even if it feels like I'm speaking to the void sometimes, because it's not like I have that many subscribers or anything, but it just makes me happy to be able to put my voice out there, and it has such a low barrier to entry. I could say anything I want. I can literally just make this video on my phone. It's been so fulfilling to me, but I still struggle with the fact that, oh, I could have just taken a more conventional job and actually find something that when people hear, they'll be like, wow, that's such a great job. You're like making a lot. But I just want to say, I guess the main takeaway from this is that you shouldn't associate your own self-worth and identity with your job or your title or whatever you're working for, what you have accomplished, because these are all just very material things that could go away at any second. It is more important to understand deep down who you are and what you care about, so that if one day, unfortunately, you lose all these things, you don't lose yourself. I know I'm making it so dramatic. It's literally just a career choice when I'm 20 years old, because when you're just a lost junior in college, you can only see so far into your life. Like, I can only really see up to when I'm 25 years old. I can't really picture what will happen after that. So a lot of the times, like, a lot of decisions just seem so much better to make during this time if I'm only thinking up to when I'm like 23, 4, or 5. But you know, who knows, maybe in the long run I have made the right choice. But I guess just do what feels right to you at the moment. That's all I can say. All right, last but not least, we're going to be talking about moving from being a thinker to a doer. So I think I'm the type of person who always has a lot of grand plans for the future. I'm like, oh, I'm going to start a company. I'm going to start my YouTube channel, which is something I said since 5 years ago, but I never really did it until this year. But basically what I'm trying to say is that I feel like junior year was the year where I actually started materializing the things that I always only thought about. For example, I started keeping a journal, a handwritten journal, which I'm super proud of, because it is so much fun and also so, what is the word? So fulfilling to look back on. Because, for example, when you look back on your journal and you will see, oh, on August 1st, 2019, I wrote that I was insecure about this certain thing. And then you read a few months later, like, oh, December 13, 2019, I have overcome that insecurity. Like, it's just such a great way to measure personal growth. And another thing that I started doing was actually going after things that I am super passionate about. So yeah, that's what I did my junior year. I joined 2 new clubs, and it was honestly kind of intimidating because I was like, I'm a junior, I am so old. It's like, why would anyone want to take me anymore. But don't ever let your age deter you. I feel like no matter what year you are in college, like go to that club event, like go join that lacrosse team or whatever, like intramural. Go join that intramural sport that you've always wanted to do, because it's never too late. I feel like in college it's a time where you can try anything you want and it's completely risk-free. Like there's almost no consequences most of the time, so why not just go do it? And so for me, in addition to like the business club that I joined my first years of college, I decided to join a business and entertainment club, which is a very lit club at UC Berkeley. And I also joined a film club, and I got to make films with a bunch of cool people, which is where I also experienced my imposter syndrome, because I was like, I am not good enough. But that is a problem for another time. It was so fun to meet all these new people who have fresh interests, fresh perspectives, and completely different backgrounds than I do. And it's just like opened my mind up to so many more things. But you know what, no matter what age you are, what year you're in, just go do the thing that you want to do. Like no one can really stop you unless you get rejected by the club, but that is also a different story. Just go try it, you won't regret it. And honestly, it would be such a shame if I say this and then my YouTube channel just dies. But I guess one of the things I'm also proud of doing is I'm finally restarting my YouTube channel, because I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. And when I look back at my journal, you always see me say, oh, this year is the year that I will start my YouTube channel, or I might start my YouTube channel soon. And I've said that for so many years and I never did it, and now I'm like, wow, I started my channel like 5 years ago, and if I had kept up with posting, maybe I would have had so much more subscribers. But now I'm just starting, and you know, people say, oh, it's too late to start a channel in 2020, but now is the best time compared to any other time. And I am so glad that I started, because I realized I do really love posting on YouTube. And as for how to make this shift in mindset from being a doer to a thinker, I think the most important thing for me is just establishing a routine. So for example, for my journal, the first example that I mentioned, I usually always write right before I go to sleep, because I have trouble with sleeping usually, and writing in my journal will help me fall asleep. But I also don't put the pressure on myself to have to write a journal every single night, because I believe that journaling should be something that is enjoyable and beneficial to you rather than like a chore that you have to complete. But I just keep my journal right next to my bed, so it's like always within my reach, along with a pen. And right before I sleep, I would just like pick it up and then just write down my feelings. I'm not even really talking about what happened that day, it's just like how I'm feeling at the moment. Like if I'm really sad, I would just, yeah. And if I'm really happy, I would like write about it too. So it's just like it's all about routine. And as for my YouTube videos, because I only have one class at 8 AM on Fridays, so I always just film my video on Fridays and then edit it the entire day on Saturday, and then post it either Saturday night or Sunday morning. So that has been a great routine that I am following. But since now it's almost summer, I'm trying to post more. And so yeah, I think just finding a routine for yourself has just been really helpful for me to keep up with these habits and becoming a doer rather than just a thinker who is just, you know, planning things in my head and never really accomplishing it. Oh, now I feel a little better now that we are ending it on a positive note, because when I was talking about my second point about all my insecurities, I got really depressed and almost stopped filming my video. But now I am proud of myself for doing all these things. So my junior year didn't go to waste. I am quite sad that it got cut short because of quarantine, but I'm still really grateful for my junior year. I feel like I learned a lot, definitely grew a lot, and I'm just trying to make peace with the fact that the growth is still happening. I'm still on this journey of figuring out what I want to do. Okay, I hope you found this video entertaining or inspiring in some way, and let me know if you like more of these kind of sit down and chit chat videos. I can't believe I'm gonna be a senior in college. I honestly don't feel ready for the real world. I don't know if I'll ever be, but I guess that is just how everyone gets shoved into it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I'm very, very thankful for you. And please hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and leave a comment down below about what are some things that you've learned from your year. And yeah, that is it for the video. I really hope to see you again in the next one. Bye!